so much. Thank you so much, MP Selena. We're really loving the energy in the room. And it's beautiful to see everyone out here. Can I just say, everyone's looking beautiful today. It's amazing looking around in the room and seeing everyone here. Can we give ourselves a round of applause for showing up, for coming out? This is great. I just have a little job to do here, and it's to introduce our next keynote speaker. That's MPP Dr. MPP Dr. Laura May Lindo.
Oh, I love me my people. I don't even know where to start because it is so rare to be in a room with your people that are in various political spaces, but at the end of the day, here's what we all believe in. The time is now. The time is now. Wowza. There might be some singing, Dr. Garvey. Sometimes that happens. So I actually want to start in a slightly different place. I want to just start with an acknowledgement of the chair, because I've always believed that you leave one seat empty when you set your table for your ancestors. And so I think the reason for the fire is because we've got our ancestors sitting right here. I also want to actively learn from the speakers that have come before me, because I think that that's how I can show how honored I am to hear the wisdom that will come from Dr. Garvey. And so I want to start, as MP Selena did, with an acknowledgement of what has happened from government. Some steps have been made. In fact, if some of those spaces were not created, I would not be the MPP for Kitchener Centre. I would not be the official opposition critic for anti-racism. I would not be the official opposition critic for citizenship and immigration, and I would not be the chair of the ONDP Black Caucus. So starting from a place of gratitude, excellent. But one of the first things that we did as the Black Caucus for the official opposition was we started to do deputations. We just spent the summer actually completing deputations across Toronto, and we did it specifically for one reason. Typically at Queen's Park or in your legislative assembly, when there's legislation and it goes to committee, different people in the community are asked to come to Queen's Park to look at this legislation, to give their feedback, to talk about how it will impact them either positively or negatively. And rarely in that space, and I've only been there 1 year, so I don't know, maybe things will change, but rarely when I look out do I see people that look like me. And oddly enough, I'm just gonna stick a pin in that. I'm always sticking pins. I promise to unstick, but stick a pin. Just today I went to Queen's Park because I had to go to work. And people don't realize, but security is required to memorize the faces of all of the MPPs so that I can wander around and feel all fancy. And today I went to Queen's Park, and security looked at me and said, "Where are you going, ma'am?" And I said, "I'm going to work," right? Every day. And they asked, "Can I see your badge?" And I said, "I'm the MPP for Kitchener Centre," and I kept walking because you just sort of assume that the system should follow, no? Yes. And then he said, "And what's your name?" And sadly, in that moment, because when racism hits in the ways that it hits us, in the moment I said, "Well, it's Lindo." And I kept walking, but then I got to my office, which was not very far, and I thought, I should have turned around and I should have said, "And what is my name, sir?" That's your job. Yeah, that's your job. No? That's his job. Talk to him. So, we'll have to talk about that, unsticking the pin. I tell you that to tell you this. In that space, rarely are we present or invited in to do what every other person in Ontario is allowed to do. So as the Black Caucus, we brought it out to community. If they aren't going to do the work inside, I won't have time to wait. We'll just keep doing the work. Here's what I heard. We did 5 deputations over the summer. We talked about arts and culture. We talked about access to social services. We talked about youth engagement. We talked about criminal justice. We talked about citizenship and immigration. In every single one of the deputations, inevitably, a handful of people, not just one, but many, said what our community needs is economic empowerment. They didn't say anything about negative stories that are perpetuated in the media about our people. They said, we know what we need economic empowerment. We need entrepreneurship. We need spaces where mentorship can happen. We need to not be over-policed, because over-policing our people doesn't allow that mentorship to happen, right?
Tell Doug Ford that.
Oh, I'm working on it. Every day. Every day. And we also, again, trying to learn from the wisdom that came before me, we can't leave the people who this system has let down. So there was a lot of talk in all of these sessions about second chances. Not second chances because we woke up and did bad things and so we're in jail, but second chances because we woke up Black and we're in jail. I'm going to say that again because I think I deserved more than that. Second chances because we woke up Black and that's where we ended up. So I'm going to tell you a story. It's a made-up story, just in case you're wondering. But imagine you're a young Black boy. You're a boy. You wake up, you want to care for your family, you want to go to school, you want to achieve everything that everybody else achieves, but you're followed everywhere you go. You're told that nothing that you do is going to ever amount to anything. You're told that you're not smart enough to be in the academic stream. You're told that the dreams that you have to be an architect or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever you feel like doing are not things that are good enough for you, right? Those aren't good for you. You know what's better for you? Something that's low wage. Like, why not just get a little job over in the side over there, right? Yeah. So then you get disappointed and you start to think about yourself and your path and what you can achieve. And you start to get in trouble. Do you know why you get in trouble? You get in trouble because your family still needs to eat, but remember your mommy and your daddy and whoever else it is, your grandparents that are taking care of you, have 3, 4, 5 different jobs just to make ends meet. You're having issues with affordable housing because we're in an affordable housing crisis, right? So you decide to pick up different kinds of skills on the streets to get by. There was a time before I was elected where I was working with youth that were in and out of the criminal justice system. That story was their story. They didn't just wake up one day and decide that they were going to go do whatever it is that landed them where they were. They made choices because they valued family and community, and they were trying really hard in a system that looked at them and said they were worthless. My guarantee to all of you, as I've said in a variety of places, is that I will keep fighting for them, because if I fight for them, I will fight for all of us. I cannot participate in the building of our economic wealth and leave folks to languish. That's what the system wants us to do. Because if there's less of us, there's less pushing back, right? But we've learned from our elders that there's another path forward, and we've learned, when I look at how packed this room is, that now is the time. So Dr. Garvey. I know, that was so cute. Dr. Garvey. Okay, so Dr. Garvey, I just wanted to sing you a little something. I'm from a tradition, again, I have to stick a pin. Every time I start talking, I have to stick a pin. I have been taught that you start every discussion with a land acknowledgement, right? So for those that don't know, we are, in fact, on territory that's called the dish with one spoon territory. The notion from Indigenous elders is that there is one dish and there is one spoon. Things to remember: there is no knife, there's a dish, In that dish is the wisdom that we are all going to eat from. The dish has enough for all of us, right? There's a spoon. We share from that spoon in order to get that wisdom. Awesome. I was at a flag raising ceremony for Emancipation Day at Queen's Park, and somebody came over to me and they said, I really appreciate the land acknowledgement, but can you do me a favor? And can you start speaking about our elders as well? Not that the Indigenous elders are not perchance our elders, but Black elders have existed in this world also doing awesome things. Let us make sure that we honor them as well. Pin has officially been unstuck. So Dr. Garvey. I am from a tradition, started in Nigeria through the slave trade, landed in Cuba, came to North America. Sometimes people are afraid to speak about traditions that are actually the root of our own traditions because the system has made us think badly of ourselves and of the ways that we are in this world. I'm not going to do that. So in Nigeria, it's called Ifa. In Cuba, it's called Santeria. And there is an Orisha in the tradition, Obatala. Obatala is our elder. He's filled with the wisdom that we need to be able to move forward. And he comes to us with that wisdom. And I feel like my one way of honoring you is to just sing to you through him. Just a second, I won't take up a lot of your time. Here we go.
That was awesome. My dear, you can sing to me anytime.
Dr. Laura May Lindo, that was fantastic. Thank you. Wasn't that fantastic? Thank you so much. I'm honored to introduce our next guest, Consul General to Jamaica, Mr. Lloyd Wilkes.
Thank you very much. Please give her a better round of applause than that. You deserve it. Oh my word. Ladies and gentlemen, what an evening we've had. Isn't it lovely? Yes. You don't believe me? Oh my. Wow. What a distinguished panel of speakers we've had. I certainly enjoyed every moment of it, and I want to shorten my speech by just endorsing and, in fact, adding your speeches to mine. They were so good. You know, I want to start off by just suggesting to us that, reminding us that we're an awesome, awesome, awesome and powerful people. I say this because I don't want us to drift into a place where we feel surprised that we are where we are today. Or indeed, that we have not done enough, or indeed that we have failed somewhere. I want to remind us that when we were taken out of our homeland, we were powerful people. Religion that we were fed sometime afterwards was born in our homeland. Civilization as we know it was born in our homeland. In fact, we have retrogressed. We must know and understand when we gather like this that we have come a long, long way. Dr. Garvey, I want to first of all, sir, acknowledge you and to remind us that we have living legacy of awesome proportions. To elected officials, most of whom, in fact all of whom I see here are people of color, carries that legacy in vivid, live, and excellent form. We've heard them today, and I can tell you, I am a believer. Ladies and gentlemen, we have in our midst a young man who formed a party. His own party. Needless to say, he's Jamaican. And you will hear from him, I'm sure. You have in your midst right here some of the greatest leaders in this community. Some of the best. I've been hearing names like Valerie Steele, Hewitt Logan, and it goes on and on and on. This is the legacy we carry as a people. When Dirty Boot Man, anybody have a phone? Yeah, man. Take out your phone and look for Dirty Book Man. He's there. When Dirty Book Man was sent away from Jamaica and sold to a Haitian plantation owner, history didn't begin. It was just another journey, another part of the journey. And here it is, he went to Haiti and stimulated the Haitian Revolution. That was one of the warriors that was sent to Jamaica as slaves. I am a proud Maroon. My forebears jumped the ship and decided to fight the British. Resistance is our legacy. Resistance against tyranny and oppression. The fight for freedom is our legacy. Marcus Mosiah Garvey was not an accident. It's a part of the journey. Simba reminds me that tomorrow, the 400 years exactly to the day. Yes. Which means, Simba told me, in Genesis, it means the curse will be lifted.
Yes. 400 years.
But lest we forget, when that journey began, it may have been preordained. It may have been justly set for us to come to a place such as this. Let us look, ladies and gentlemen, if you will, with me. Those movements led to emancipation. We now call independence, emancipation, emancipendence. So we are used to coining words in Jamaica. In Jamaica was born a religious movement called Rastafarianism. In Jamaica, we birthed a man called Marcus Garvey, who took decolonization to the world, who taught men and women of color that we too can dream, not just like Martin Luther who got inspiration, but that we have a dream. And we are living that dream, ladies and gentlemen. Some of them are sitting here. We will overcome the obstacles we have faced. We are overcoming those obstacles. The decade for people of color was not an accident. This is because it is part of the journey. We made that happen. Ladies and gentlemen, when this building was paid off, it's not an accident. You who have been in the trenches made this building even practical and sensible. So many people in this room helped to dig the foundations on which this building now stands. It's not an accident. It's part of the journey. Denham Jolly is not an accident. He is created for a moment such as this. I am here to tell you that we are making amazing strides. When black people came to this country, you could find hardly any place to live.
Yes.
You're in a period of time when women couldn't vote. You're in a period of time when women did not feel as if they could actualize, self-actualize the founder and chairman of the Black Caucus, the Black Chamber of Commerce reminded us. Today, Jamaica boasts per capita the most women who hold places of power and influence and lead organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, we are achieving. But we have a challenge. We are in a place with an alien culture, an alien order. Our women were not shuttled. Our women were never without power. Our women were counselors, midwives. In fact, a man could move without him checking wife. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming out of a tradition. When our family and the nuclear family was the order of our business, we are coming out of a tradition where we revere our women. I am not so sure how many other people who populate this world can boast of that. We are coming from a tradition when our women nurture our men, where our men protected that seed when it is planted, and when it meets the egg, it is yin and yang, it is mother and father, it is husband and wife. We are coming from a tradition where honor in our community meant unity. Unity is what brought resistance. Unity is what brought down colonization, slavery. Unity is what is taking us where we are. Now, ladies and gentlemen, is the time. Now is the time. We are powerful in various places. We must now be powerful together. We must now find networks to ensure that our individual strength can count for something. Dr. Garvey is not here by any mistake. When I hear Nadine Williams sing a poem, talk a poem, dub a poem,